Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Storekeep Homestead. So is it possible to farm debt-free? Well, the simple answer to that is yes, it is. But there are some things that you're going to have to do and a mindset that you're going to have to change to actually make that possible, guys. So let's start with this. Let's start with the land. So that stops a lot of people from farming because they don't have land access, or they have the mindset that I must have a lot of land to be a profitable farm. But I'm here to tell you that on 2 acres, we're totally debt free. And you could actually do it on a 1/4 acre if your 1/4 acre was set up in a way that you could actually garden. You can make tremendous money from a 1/4 acre market garden. And if you could do a 1 acre market garden, you could make 4 times the amount of money that I can make on a 1/4 acre. But if you think that you have to have 100 acres or 200 acres or even 20 acres to be a profitable farm, then you're gonna have trouble being able to pay for that much land in cash, okay? Because when I say debt-free, I mean that your land is paid for, your home paid for, your vehicle paid for, no credit card debt. To get to that step is really a shifting of your mindset. It's starting with what you already have, whether that is 1/8 of an acre beside your home, and you begin to produce vegetables or herbs or even cut flowers off that 1/8 of an acre and making profit from it to sell your home. Take that money, your equity, and buy what you can with cash. So it's really a mindset. It's shifting how you think. It's realizing that what you have is exactly what you need. Because guys, I tell people this all the time. We're doing all of what we do here at Storekeep Farmstead on 2 acres. Imagine when the time comes that we have the cash available to purchase 20 acres, what we're gonna do. I mean, look at what we do now. Imagine what we can do then. Like, the possibilities, they are endless. So for me, it is always, rather than looking at what I don't have, it's looking at what I do have. A lot of people encourage people to lease land to garden, all right? I have a problem with that because I no-till, organic and regenerative garden. I put my heart, I put my soul, and I put my sweat into that 1/4 acre market garden. I can't imagine leasing this land from somebody and it not being my own. Having the possibility that they may come in and take the land from me, that the owner of the land may pass, and then the current contract is no longer good. It's null and void. Like, there's so many things that can happen with leased land. It's not yours. You still have to follow their rules. And now I'm paying you every month for the use of the land. I have a problem with that. Like, I know that if you have a cattle herd of 200 cattle, that you need a lot of land. And so in that situation, I know people who lease land for their cattle. That's a little different. You're running cattle. You can still be debt free because your cattle are going to pay for the lease amount. But what I'm talking about is farming small, like gardening. That is the future, guys. So you have to change your mindset because you can definitely farm debt free. My husband and I are living proof of it. We farm debt free. We've been doing it now for 2.5, 3 years. Okay, the next thing, you can do it if you're going to do it non-conventionally. So if you're going to conventional farm, and what I mean is you're going to take a big tractor and you're going to till up 15 acres of land, and you're going to put all your cows in a small couple of acres and you're going to feed them out on grains and pellets, then the chances are you're going to be in debt. And you're going to be in debt the entire life of your farm. And when you die, it's not going to be transferred to your children because the taxes they're going to have to pay on it, the debts they're going to have to clear that you left them, it's going to leave them in a financial bind, and they're not going to want to work that hard. So your farm is literally going to end at your death. And the Bible tells us that a righteous man leaves his children and his grandchildren an inheritance. So for me at Starkey Farmstead, I would rather leave my children 2 acres paid for, homestead exempt, which means where I live, we don't owe property taxes, and everything functioning in sustainable loop systems that they can just move on the farm and continue what I've already built, or they can sell it and make profit off of the property. Either way, I leave them in a better position when I die than, well, that sounds kind of cruel, doesn't it? I leave them in a better position when I die than when I was alive. Well, and it's kind of true. But I don't leave them with so much debt that my legacy ends there, right? Because I want to farm for the future. I want to farm for my grandchildren. I want the soil to be better for them and the food to be more nutrient dense then than it is now. That's my reality. All right, so if you're going to farm like your grandpa, then you're going to have your grandpa's debt. All right? And here's the second issue. 2 acres is not enough to farm. Oh, but it is, guys. Oh, but it is. Because you can do so many amazing things on small acreage. You absolutely can. You start with small acreage. That's not where you stay. Right? When you started to learn to walk, you had to crawl. Then you learned to walk, and then you began to run. But you didn't always continue to crawl. So I've got 2 acres now. But I'm not always going to have 2 acres. One day I'm going to have 20 acres. And then one day I'm going to have 200 acres. And then one day I'm going to have 2,000 acres. And I'm going to non-conventional, organic, regenerative farm all of it. That's my reality, because I'm learning in an environment that I can actually learn, where the pressure is not so bad, because we were able to start all of this already debt-free. So if you're in the position where you're in debt, my advice to you is cut your credit cards up. Sell what you have. Take the equity from what you had, roll it into what you can actually afford. Because if you're using credit cards to pay most of your bills and to fund your farm and your animals, then you can't afford those. You're going to have to pay the piper. You're going to have to rob Peter to pay Paul. That's the situation you've got yourself in. So now you have to get yourself out. So the Bible tells us to never despise small beginnings, right? So you might have to downsize to get where you want to be, which is debt-free. And then you're going to have to learn how to set up sustainable loops. You're going to have to learn how to create income streams. You're going to have to learn how to reduce inputs. What I mean is, I don't buy any fertilizers, any pesticides, or any fungicides for my entire 1/4 acre market garden. I buy none of that. So when I learn how to do it here, when I have 20 acres and I'm gardening 5 acres, I'm still going to be buying no fertilizers, no pesticides, no fungicides, because I learned the techniques in a way that I could actually learn it. I learned it in a small enough system that it sunk in, and I actually learned the concepts behind what I'm doing. So when I go bigger, I will apply the same concepts I applied here, I'll apply it there. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope so, because this is really interesting. But I don't get frustrated, almost never. And I'm not going to say that I get tired, but I get a little irritated hearing people complain that you know, they can't get into farming because, they're going to have to go in debt, or they can't get into farming because they can't afford land. Buy what you can afford. Get what you can afford. You don't have to start with 20 acres, guys. You can farm a 1/4 acre. We have 2 acres. We have chickens. We have rabbits. We have black soldier fly larvae. We have red wigglers. We have a biochar pit. We have a composting pile. Like, all of that stuff is doable. Hey, guys, how are y'all? Waving at my neighbors. Hey, baby. So you got to stay positive. You have to stay focused. You have to stay on top of your game. Start small. Invest your money properly. Learn how to make a profit with what you've got. Because if you can make a profit with a little, imagine what you can make with a lot. So I hope this video helps. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you change your mindset. Because if you're gonna farm like Grandpa, sorry, then you're gonna have Grandpa's debt. So God bless you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching Starkey Farmstead.